competition is due to get underway very shortly, but first, to help you understand tonight's event, here's our grandstand guide.
Balance on the beam. Dance and tumble on the floor. Swing between the bars. Launch yourself from the vaulting horse. Find the courage and determination for all four. Let's put you in the shoes of the all-around champion.
Whatever the apparatus, the gymnast has to perform great difficulty. But the winner will be the one who does it with style. Even a simple handspring takes great spatial awareness and commitment from the top of the horse until the landing is accomplished. On floor and beam, the gymnast has to include as many acrobatic skills as possible, but they must always be perfectly performed. As she links the back flips and back somersaults, she loses sight of the beam completely. As it comes back in view, she brings the feet into land and keeps her eye on the beam. The ultimate test of spatial awareness for the gymnast is undoubtedly the asymmetric bars. Completely different set of skills needed here, upper body strength and the ability to swing, and the complete confidence to know exactly the right time to let go and re-grasp. The winner will be the gymnast who can combine all this difficulty with great style and perfection.
So that's what it's all about tonight. I'm pleased to say that the gymnasts have arrived now in the arena, so let's join Christine Still, Mitch Fenner, but first Barry Davis. And Barry, has it been traffic problems or what's the reason for the delay? Have you heard anything?
Well, we understand that one or two of the gymnasts were delayed. Let's face it, there have been a few problems getting athletes in all different sports from the Olympic Village to their venues. But they're all here now, and they represent 15 countries. There are 10 teams, Russia among them, with 3 gymnasts, 1 team with 2, that's from Uzbekistan, and 4 gymnasts who are on their own from Italy, Greece, Japan, and Canada. Here's one of the real contenders, Shannon Miller, who was the silver medalist 4 years ago, behind Tatiana Gutsu. And here's another. The leading gymnast from the United States from the team competition. She was just behind Simona Amanar, who wasn't going to be here because she had a poor compulsory part of the team competition and didn't qualify. Here's little Dominic Munteanu, one of the replacements from Kerry Strug, and Amanar's replacing her teammate Alexandra Marinescu. But as far as we're aware, she has nothing like the injury that was sustained by Kerry Strug.
From the People's Republic of China, Chao Yang. From the Russian Federation, Rosalia Galieva.
And Rosa Galieva will know all about being replaced because 4 years ago she had to give way to Tatiana Gutsu. A diplomatic injury, I think it was an ankle. And of course Gutsu went on to win the championship.
Please welcome mixed group number 4. Group number 4 includes...
You'll recognize the face at the end there. China has 3 representatives. Sevsaridu from Greece. Chusavitana, member of the unified team 4 years ago.
From Hungary, Adrian Varga. From the Ukraine,
3 from Hungary. Sheramita.
From Australia, Lisa Skinner.
And the Australians are pleased they have 3 here.
Joanna Ruades. And from Belarus, Svetlana Boginskaya.
She'll get a special cheer. Lives in Texas these days.
Today's Women's Olympic all-around finals.
It has to be
The time signifies the beginning of the first
one of the most
period.
open all-around championships in an Olympic Games ever. All the experts had their favorites. Probably the odds at the start would be on Lilia Podkopaeva of Ukraine, but perhaps it's worth recording that no reigning world champion has won this Olympic title since 1972. The great Lyudmila Teresheva, who is now the senior member in charge of Ukrainian gymnastics. Podkopaeva comes from that country, and Teresheva is also among the judging panel here. There will be huge support for the home gymnasts. I think I'm going to ask my co-commentators here to come out with a forecast. Mitch Fenner, who do you fancy?
Well, there are two gymnasts out there with a special reason to succeed. One is Mo Huilan from China, because her male teammate did so last night in the men's competition. And the others, of course, you're looking at the, you've got to look at the Americans. Dominic Dawes has something to prove, but I'm sure this little lady, and Christine will tell us about her, Podkopaeva, surely is the favourite.
Well, I think she's certainly the coach's favourite. She's a gymnast with such poise, such excellence in terms of technique and such interesting work. But it's a very tall order. When you come here as the favourite, it's a lot to ask. And I suppose I haven't fully answered who I think will win. I have a little hunch that we might see Dominic Dawes come through. I suppose, again, we'd like to see her succeed. We've seen her more than once fail at the final exercise, and she's a gymnast who's always been there, and perhaps today will be her day.
Yes, we saw her fail in 93 in particular in Birmingham, when she fell on her vault at the end. And that is where she's going to finish her routine today. Podkopaeva will start on the vault, along with Piskun of Belarus and Mo Huilan and Lavinia Milosevic. We shouldn't forget her. She was the bronze medalist third time. Moceanu there was preparing for the beam, where will also be found Korkina of Russia. On the bars, Amanar, who had the highest scores in the optional exercises. She's there with Kochikova, Gojin, Miller and Dawes. And Svetlana Boginskaya, that's Mo Huilan. Svetlana Boginskaya will start on the floor.
Rotation number 1 will now begin.
Dominique Moceanu, coached by Bella Caroli, as is Kerry Strug, and now gets into the team because of Strug's injury in the team competition. It's to be hoped that Strug will be fit to take part in the apparatus finals later on. Start by Moceanu.
Interesting mount, similar to that used by Silvash, one of the great Romanian gymnasts. Very confident and secure opening. She held on to that well. But little deductions all the time. She's having to fight now. better control on that handstand. Very strong landing, but really not the start she would have liked.
Huge applause and the welcome of Martha Caroli for Dominic Oceanu, who is the youngest competitor. She won't be 15 until September, but there are many a good deal older than that taking part in this competition.
Just a moment of hesitation. She didn't stamp her authority on that landing. As her feet landed, she needed to lift the shoulders immediately. She didn't have that confidence, and a good 0.3 deduction for that.
Probably hear the buzz going around the crowd. Great ooh, and she very nearly came off. She did jolly well to stay on. But young as she is, she's already proved what a competitor she is. She seemed to be utterly unfazed by her problems in the team competition and the vault, which certainly added drama to drama.
It did, and I think probably very much more difficult than she let it appear to come out and perform well on the beam straight after that.
Well, she gets a 9.6. She'd be pretty happy with that, with the errors made. This is Kochikova, Russia, who starts her challenge on the bars.
Style in the full twist long swing. First release and the transfer to the lower bar. Safely negotiated. Good sharp start. At this moment, she's capable of more difficult, playing safe. Pike in the first, straight in the second. And double somersault from Kochikova.
Success for her would be an early 19th birthday present. Her birthday is on Saturday. Leonid Akayev with the men and with the women gymnasts.
Kachev, a back straddle over the bar. Nicely confident with a somersault to join the two bars. There's the pike. Stretching in the second, double somersault to dismount. Good secure start from Kochikova.
The coaching now is individual rather than team, at least where there has been sufficient money for a gymnast's private coach to be sent. 9.787. Nice start for Kochikova. Here is Podkapava, waiting for her vault. Had a few problems with this vault in the optional part of the team competition.
That's very well controlled on this. So important that both these vaults land well. Today, the gymnasts have to perform 2 vaults and their mark is averaged. So no room for error. This the half turn off, the front somersault, piked with a half turn out. Great precision in this and great style.
.75. She carries forward. Can be the same vault again. Or with a score like that, she may feel that she wants to add extra. I suspect that, Christine, you'll think it should be the same vault.
Yes, I do. She'll be wanting a steady opening here. And a little bit better, I think.
Quite serious, the gymnast from Donetsk, city that's twinned with Sheffield, city of over 1 million people, an industrial city. Here now for Russia is Svetlana Korkina. She starts on the beam.
She's made errors on this apparatus in the past, so in the European Championships earlier this year. She does have a very special and unique style, and it's suited, if all goes well, on this apparatus. Interesting backflip, nicely controlled. Great elegance. Concentration. A mixed series, that's a gymnastic skill and an acrobatic skill. Nicely through. Super dismount. Presented the exercise so well.
Her score so far from her compatriot, 9.812. The second vault, but 9.781 is the score which goes forward. The average of the two vaults, which is .006, worse than Kochitkova.
Tall gymnast, but very graceful and elegant in flight, and the performance of all the linking skills. Good start. Acrobatic series tagged on to the mount, which is ambitious and very effective. Nice transition from here. Full twist backflip. Seemed in control the whole time.
9.787, matching Kochitkova. Some pieces of apparatus, of course. Here's one of the two main, well, I suppose you've now got to say three challengers from Romania, with Amanar being brought in. Inigogen, former European champion. Third member is Lavinia Milosevic. Amanar went well on the same piece of apparatus.
Swiftly into a 1.5 pirouette. Difficult combination. And into her release move. Doesn't have quite the big swing of some gymnasts, but a very precise routine. A good start for Gina Gojin. 1.5 pirouette right on top of the bar. The gymnasts have to try and perform their pirouettes within 10 degrees of handstand. That's something that will give gained her some bonus marks from the judges. However, she always has that tiny bent elbow in her handstands, which are little deductions the judges will take away. Very good landing.
Jen, one of the 18-year-olds, will be 19 in September. Judging, incidentally, exactly the same. 6 judges, top and bottom marks wiped away, and the other 4 average. Amanar in discussion with Gojen, and 9.7. One of the 3 Chinese, Xiao Ya.
It's often been said that this traditionally is their forte. Beam exercise. They had a difficult time in the compulsory team competition. Gave us all a few shocks.
Indication of how tight the competition is, Mitch. The top 6 are at the moment divided by 0.087. The top 6.
Unbelievable. And these gymnasts won't be worried about the tension of hundreds of tenths of marks. They'll be more concerned with their own performance. Chinese normally so solid and impressive on the leaps and jumps and the connecting moves on beam. Super. Taking the head away from the beam, showing confidence. Very difficult. And the first sign of a problem. A double tuck back, safely done. An example there of the Chinese expertise on beam.
The time begins the warm-up period for the second half of rotation number 1.
Starting on the floor, yet to go.
And for your information, ladies and gentlemen, the second half warm-up
Points
is
still
for
to
the
be
4
made.
remaining competitors in this rotation.
I wonder how much of it she's taking in. Well, she made all the right signs anyway.
There are 9 gymnasts on each piece of apparatus. Going around in 4 groups, top 36. 9.725.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we welcome you to the 1996 Centennial Olympic Games for the most spectacular competition.
And a chance to look back at Simona Amanar. It's into the competition instead of Marinescu and started on the bars.
Good stretch on that first release. Good combination of hand movements. Tiny bit short on the handstand. Very confident dismount. 9.762 for that routine.
Mark that was subsequently bettered, but with 9 gymnasts, there is a second warm-up period for the last 4. 5 warm-ups to compete, and then there's a break, 4 warm-up, and then compete.
I'll tell you about that in just a minute. We've got 30 seconds remaining in the warm-up.
Il reste 30 secondes d'échauffement.
Compete, and then there's a break, 4 warm-up, and then
And I'll tell you
compete.
about that in just a minute. We've got 30 seconds remaining in the warm-up.
Il reste 30 secondes d'échauffement.
Those 4 parts are broken down to value parts, execution, combinations, and bonus
We
points.
saw
These
Korkina
4 parts total a perfect
on the beam, 9.787. We saw Kochikova, 9.787. And we saw Podkapayeva, second vault the better, 9.781. And Amanar, 9.762.
The
That's how it
warm-up
stands at the
period
moment.
is now complete. It's now time to begin competition in the
Gives
second
support
half of rotation
for the
number
United
1.
States
Le
and 1 or
chauffement
2
est terminé.
athletes,
La compétition pour la première rotation va continuer.
Phelps and Borden on the right there, the 2 fair-haired, and you just about saw Kerry Strug behind the flag. And this lady may now have their attention. This is Mo Huilan of China. She's at the end of the vault runway.
Double twist in Yurchenko. Little pace backwards though, and when the competition is this close, the slightest error, of course. Round off onto the board, the somersault with double twist, and the telltales pace backwards. Very effective conversion, strong swing of the arms, huge push into the air, smacks the shoulder down to make sure of the twists. And they found a new aggression, 9.762. The first of the 2 vaults. They found a new aggression, the Chinese, in their vaulting. Oh, that's much better. Same vault, nailed it. Look at the smile.
Huge applause, I should tell you, is for the performance of the second of the 3 American gymnasts taking part.
She really got hold of this. Very positive. Good clean twist. Sees the landing and holds on to it.
Right. Podkapayeva should better her first score. Second, 9.837. She does indeed. And the score she takes through, 9.799. Just a touch behind Podkapayeva. This is Shannon Miller now on the bars.
2 big release moves. And they're the third. Always fully stretched in her work. Good double straight. A little bit low, but rotated fast and landed so well.
This is all part of the game. The coach comes up, embraces, says it was a fantastic performance. Are you watching, judges? They all do it.
No one better than the Americans, you have to say that.
The full turning hop, lets go of the bar completely, straight into the ginger. Those are the difficult combinations that gain the marks. Gymnasts today have to be performing even more difficulty than they did in the team competition. There, the dismount didn't really soar above the bar, but was very well shaped.
She would have been happy to start here. She usually scores well on this piece of apparatus. I wonder if the judge is going to give her plenty of bounce as she comes off. And a big smile, which we don't always see. 9.75. Not the best score on that piece of apparatus, and that's how it has to be judged today. Next to Lavinia Milosevic. Bronze medalist 4 years ago. She has medals, quite a few gold on all 4 pieces of apparatus, but she has yet to win a major all-around title. Two vaults, let me remind you, but this time both those vaults are important because the 2 marks are averaged. Comparison with the team competition and the better vault scored.
Super event for her, this. Good landing. Half-turn Arabian, straight somersault, which is her favourite vault. And that little adjustment right at the end. Half-turn in flight, sideways skip. Cartwheeling onto the horse, there's the somersault. With half turn, and you just see a little slip to the side. .762. And it's the landing she needs to pay attention to. She'll probably a little bit more bend in the knee to make sure of the landing. Let's have a look. Couldn't get hold of the landing. We saw a very clear pace. I would suspect it'll be the first vault she'll have to rely on to keep the average up. You can't tell anything from her expression, though. Did exactly what was required of her. Made the half turn with the same confidence. Couldn't control the rotation.
Second 9.725, average 9.743. Rosa Galieva on the beam.
And a very positive, strong start for Galieva. Works very quickly on the beam. Which is indicative of her confidence on this apparatus. And she stamped that landing. determined look on her face. Such a good dismount. She looks determined to make up for the disappointment of the team competition.
.825, that's the best score anywhere in this opening rotation. She's also thinking about making up for the disappointment of being left out 4 years ago. Anna Boginskaya took part in that competition and in the one in 1988 in Seoul. It starts on the floor. She's been promising us a few surprises.
Her elegance will be no surprise. I wonder what tumbles she's selected. Lovely start. Rebounding in the tumbling, super stuff. Tumbling to go with absolutely fascinating dance presentation. The final tumble, absolutely nailed.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes competition in rotation number 1. The athletes will now march
If there is a
to their
weakness
next event.
in Boginskaya's work of old, it was in the tumbling, but there's nothing wrong with this. 2.5 twists into a punch front, but what a pity. Look, feet, are they out? Was there a red flag? Now that could be absolutely crucial.
She was generous enough yesterday. The questioner said to her about the quality of performance. She's the senior member competing here in terms of style and grace, and she said there are several, like a Noddy of Hungary, Shannon Miller she picked out from the United States, but I still think that she's the best. She should have the first half of the competition. She would do well. It's a question of whether the second half she can maintain that. Let's hope the judges didn't see the feet. I think they probably did. 9.6. Pity. Everyone wants to get into the picture. Packed house again, 39,100. And their eyes a few moments ago were on this lady, Dominique Dawes.
One of these gymnasts who seems to have so much time in performance. Work so fluent. 1.5 turns straight over the bar. Full turn. Just the dismount. Full twist. In the double tuck somersault. Little step on landing.
On the dismount for the landing, but you did a nice job with it. Good for you. Nice window.
A short, clear circle in to catch a very difficult move. Not much margin for error on that. The 1.5 turn heat. No, that was just the full turn before the dismount. And now the dismount, very high above the bar. This one just pulled in a little close and caused the steps backwards.
9.812 her score, the second best score of the opening rotation.
Interestingly enough, before the Russian influence
Best
of 1952,
achieved by Rosa Galieva on Russia on the beam, 9.825. But just to look at the gaps as we go down the list. Dominic Dawes second, Mo Whelan third. 2 Russians in the top 4, 3 Russians in fact, because 2 of them have the same score, Kochikova and Korkina. World champion down in 6th. A lot can change yet. Good start by Chusovitana of Uzbekistan. Milosevic only 10th. She would have hoped for a higher placing on the vault. Yelena Piskun is higher than Boginskaya.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's what
Spain and France, as you see, taking part, and Mocianu, there's been a lot of hype for her. She's equal with Boginskaya in 17th place.
A good beam routine should create the impression.
She's got plenty of time, Mocianu. Others who are pushing her too quickly.
Each routine must last between 70 and 90 seconds.
Fine gymnast though she is.
Of the beam. Points are
She
taken
might
off
at this
if the
stage
gymnast
be thinking,
wobbles,
well,
stops, or
Sydney
falls.
is about the right
However,
age.
additional bonus points will be
Would be
awarded
good.
for
Of course,
additional difficult moves. And
if
for
the
special
new rules,
attention.
Christine, coming in next year, were applying here, she wouldn't be allowed to take part. You have to be 16.
That's right, you've got to be 16 in the year of the competition. She, in fact, will be 15 later this year, so she gets in on the qualification as it stands now of 15. But I think it will be very good to see a more mature competition, although in fact the sport really is already moving that way. Mocianu very much the exception rather than the rule here.
Now 30 seconds remaining in the warm-up.
Shiramita warming up on the vault. Number 3 from Ukraine. Here's Chusovitana with the unified team. Not quite number 1, but she's certainly challenging. Chalk first. Gymnastics shoes second. Not that many wear them, but she is.
In our second rotation will now begin.
L'échauffement est terminé. La compétition pour la deuxième rotation va commencer.
Here's Svetlana Korkina. Good start on the beam. Judges have not been 100% sure about her floor, but the judges today are different. What do they think about this one when it counts most?
Second tumble, impressive. All 3 tumbles successfully negotiated, presented in her own very special and delightful style. Really was a lovely package.
Very interesting to see Svetlana Boginskaya and Svetlana Korkina back-to-back off the floor. The younger has borrowed from the senior, but added just a little bit more vivacity, perhaps is the word. Could think of another one, but I won't use it.
Making the most of their strengths, I think we should say, and in this case, presentation, but this tumbling is impressive too. Multiple twists in series. And ultimately, it's not how high and fast you tumble, it's how you present the exercise. And we've had a lesson from both Boginskaya and Korkina. And there are some out there, Christine, who can present an exercise and tumble brilliantly.
That's right. It was interesting today. She opened with triple twist, whereas in the team competition she used the full twisting double back. Now, that did mean that all her tumbles were from the twisting category today. Let's see how the judges assess that.
They assess it at 9.7. Lilia Podkopaeva, her second piece is the asymmetric bars.
A little bit of a knee bend on that mount. So distinctive in her style. Completely flat back in all her handstand shapes, which is a good point. Oh, enormous dismount, perfectly landed. Just a little error at the beginning.
9.812, the best score so far on the bars.
The huge dismount. Finished the second somersault before she'd come back to the level of the high bar.
Lovely expression she had at the completion there, that little stub nose. There's a certain amount of pugnacity to go with Grace. She, for the record, will be 18 next month. Some debate about her performance, and she's being made to wait for her score. Every score here is crucial to a contender. I think it's not unreasonable to say the contenders run just into double figures out of 36. That's Yelena Piskun with her from Belarus. They're good chums. 9.8 for Podkopaeva, not as good as Dominic Dawes. There's rank 1 at the moment, but of course it's changing all the time. Some have completed 2 pieces, some only still 1. This is Gina Gojan. 2 pieces, some only still 1. This is Gina Gojan. Down a bit from her start. 9.7 she scored on the bars. She's now on the beam, the Romanian. Looks a little soulful. one of those who trains in Diva, the Romanian school that first came to note with one Nadia Comaneci 20 years ago.
Solid as ever. The front somersault start. Same skill. This time from a run, equally solid. Total control so far. And what an absolutely accurate routine from Gojin. All the tumbles, safely negotiated, the links, the spins, the connections, all under tension, all under control. Two backflips, 2 feet firmly planted on the beam, setting up the double back somersault. A great landing for her too. 1 foot, 2 feet, double back. Could be interesting.
This piece produced the highest score in the team competition. It does so again, although not quite as much. 9.8 for Gina Gojin. Here is the leader at the end of the first rotation, Rosa Galieva, and among the watchers, the first family of the United States, Hillary Clinton on the left, William Jefferson Clinton in the middle, and Chelsea Clinton on his left. So, the men leave the podium, and Oksana Chusovitina, now of Uzbekistan, formerly with the unified team, on the vault.
Again, very favoured this vault. Sukahara into an Arabian front somersault in the straight body. Lots of the gymnasts choosing this. Cartwheel on, half turn in flight. Little hop forward though. Not the tidiest flight on, and the error right at the end as well. So a couple of tenths for the judges to take, 9.662.
2 vaults.
The warm-up period is now
and
complete.
It's the average of the
2
two
half of rotation number
count.
2 will now begin.
L'échauffement est terminé. La compétition pour la deuxième rotation va continuer.
This is Dominic Dawes, who was in second place at the end of the first rotation. She's now on the beam.
Very important series for her. The judges want to see the gymnast moving smoothly along the beam. And she's quite distinctive at this, not too long a pauses for elements. Big dismount. And a little bit difficult than in the team competition. Full twisting double back.
Could we see an American 1 and 2 at the halfway stage? Straight over to Lavinia Milosevic of Romania on the asymmetric bars.
Doing well to keep her concentration. Swinging efficiently. All her years of experience coming to good. Full twist to the long swing. Into the dismount, double front somersault. She too landed very well. Atmosphere, unbelievable.
Dominic Dawes, 9.825. He adds that to a 9.812.
Double front dismount. Sealed a very efficient routine on Lavinia Milosevic.
He's looking to add to a 9.743. She gets a 9.737. Svetlana Boginskaya is now on the vault runway, representing Belarus. They're living these days in America and likely to settle here.
Precise round off. 1.5 twists off. Steps forward, but this is a very difficult vault. An extra twist to the vault she competed at the European Championships. Arms quickly back into the horse, push, 1.5 twist off, but not the precision on landing that we've come to expect from her.
.687. 2 vaults, the average of the 2 scores.
Same vault, tried very hard to stop the rotation and land without steps, but just not quite managed.
As to say, if you don't stick, you don't win.
It was a good vault. Plenty of height.
Simona Aminar comes to beam, where Dominic Dawes' performance has put her into first place.
Major acrobatic series, confidently done. Very brisk in the spin and all the postures. Another solid front somersault. Keeping the shoulder square. Composing herself. Dismount series, double tuck back, a little pace at the end. Absolutely solid while she was on the beam. Marred the performance with a flaw in the dismount.
9.687 score for Svetlana Boginskaya. That's for her second vault.
Backflip layout back, backflip layout back. Little dip of the shoulders there, you could see. Plenty of height in that flick. Flick to 2 feet, setting up a solid takeoff for the double tuck back.
Carried through 9.687. Chusovitino, we saw one vault from her earlier. 9.631 was the score she carried through. .725. Not quite as good for Amina on beam as on bars. Last one on this piece of apparatus is Dina Kotitkova.
Well, the other two Russian gymnasts have come storming out onto the beam. Very disappointed to have been beaten for the gold medal in the team competition. And that's amazing combinations. Full twist in the backflip to set that series up. Keep her rhythm and concentration. Very good and difficult link. Double tap back somersault. Very few errors in that routine.
Scored 9.787 on her first piece, which was the bars. Floor will come next for her in rotation 3.
This so impressive. Full twisting backflip into another backflip and then a layout somersault. Big dismount, plenty of time to spot the landing.
Walks away, looking to see if her mark comes up. It does. It's 9.825, and she is among the contenders. Let's have a look at the performances earlier of two others. This is Mo Huilan, who is on the asymmetric bars.
And I'm sure she'll present a usual very exciting brand of bars work. Coming up, front somersault to catch. Wasn't comfortable on the regrasp there. Back into the swing and rhythm of things. Nice little Healy into inverts. Good release. And winding up at the dismount. Double straight. Good exercise.
9.8 her mark. She's in contention.
Good combination that she's become known for. Very strong, the landings. And well disguised, the little error at the end there. Strong, and all the essential moves she must include.
And we've just been looking at Shannon Miller performing on the beam for the United States. Let me tell you, those of you who were with us previously, 9-point performance here at Guangya. China, who was on the floor in that rotation. I should tell you that performance by Shannon Miller had her in the lead briefly, but she's now back in second place. Mo Huilan leading the Chinese challenge. Gymnasts have moved to prepare for rotation number 3. 9.675, and that's where we watch from. And here is the leader, Dominic Dawes, at the halfway stage, 19.637. And following her are two jointly second, Kochetkova of Russia and Shannon Miller of the United States. Mo Huilan fourth, the world champion. Podkapayeva in 5th place. Gina Gojan has moved up to 6th, just ahead of her compatriot, Simona Aminar. Kokina has dropped down to be equal 7th with Aminar, and Milosevic is in 9th place for Romania. The gaps are interesting, 0.025 at the top. Rosa Galieva, who led at the end of the first rotation, is now down in 10th. Elena Piskun of Belarus, still winning that particular contest, from Svetlana Boginskaya, who is 15th.
Beginning with the history. The uneven bars are perhaps the newest and most spectacular event for women.
Dominic Dawes will be on the floor in this third rotation. Two others will have gone before her, including Shannon Miller.
Bars require lots of upper body strength, which is better suited to
going around together.
The change to the uneven bars made an amazing difference for the female gymnast. On these bars, the women have developed exercises that use swinging and blowing movements instead of arm and shoulder strength.
Dress rehearsal is not followed by performance. Here's Kochetkova, who with Miller is in second place. Kochetkova
Avant que les barres asymétriques ont été inventées, les femmes utilisaient les mêmes barres parallèles
She
que les
will
hommes.
go after the others on this apparatus.
Que les hommes sur cet appareil qui exige beaucoup de force musculaire du torse, plus adapté pour les hommes. Le changement aux barres asymétriques a fait une grande différence pour les gymnastes féminines. Sur ces barres, les femmes ont développé des exercices avec plus d'élan plutôt que des mouvements de force.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's what to look for in an uneven bar routine. An uneven bar routine will include swinging and circular movements, transferring from bar to bar with turns.
Big chance for the Americans to fill the inner man during this break.
The judges will be evaluating the gymnast form, the types of elements
and they do like to do that.
How they are connected, the way her body passes between the bars, and the difficulty of her movements.
Une routine aux barres asymétriques est compliquée
Not the best of warm-ups for either American gymnast.
No, because of the change of rules for the individual competition, some of the girls are changing their tumbles. They have to include slightly different moves as the competition goes on. And we've seen both the Russian girls tumble completely different tumbles to the ones in the all-around, and I think we might see a change from some of the others as well.
So don't forget to pick up your official Olympic.
You mean compared with the team competition?
That's right, yes. They will alter a little bit the tumbles that they do.
Mo Huilan won't be looking for any tumbles at all, except when she comes with the liberation off the beam. 9.79998. She'll want that to continue to go up,
The warm-up period is now,
and it will have to do so if she is to make it a Chinese double. Gina Gojun will open this third rotation on the floor. 9.798. What now?
And this is one gymnast who will be relying on the strength of her tumbling over her choreography. Vicious, paid off. Solid tumbling. A good exercise, but for me, not the flair, not the presentation, or the classic elegance of the Russians. A powerful tumbling. Look at the stretch, conversion upwards from the flick into the full twisting double tuck there.
With the exception of Aurelia Dobre, who actually went into the 88 championship as favourite, most of the Romanians, it seems to me, are tumblers and not dancers. The choreography is missing. Dobre was a favourite, I have to say. (9.8). She was given for her tumbling though. 7.88. Good scoring. She was given for her tumbling though. 7.88. Good scoring. Shannon Miller will offer a little more grace. Will she offer tumbling of the same quality?
Had a little stumble in the team competition. Same stumble today. Undercooked on the forward series. Well controlled last tumble. Looked just a little wearier than in the team competition. There's her teammates watching her there, waving their flags. Kerry Strug waving the flag.
It's a face of disappointment this time. Steve Nunno with her was not the extrovert dancing for marks on this occasion, but the consoler after obvious disappointment. I don't know if it's an injury as well, but I think it might just be disappointment. Silver medalist last time, and at this moment feels that her chance of turning silver into gold may well have disappeared.
No doubt took a very great deal emotionally and otherwise out of these girls to win the gold medal for their team. And this, the last tumble, did she step out of the floor? Because if she did, the point one is really a penalty she can't carry.
Again, no doubt about it, Christine.
She did. From our angle we couldn't see, and in fact the start score up on the board is not a 10, so they must have taken such a severe deduction on the big step on the first tumble. If they deduct more than 0.3, they don't give the element.
9.475. It's all over for Shannon Miller. Step too far for her. Mo Whelan, in theory, on her best piece of apparatus.
That's a signature move, a one-arm handstand to begin. Just watch the height and confidence in all of her leaps. And her acrobatics are solid. Nothing to deduct so far. Straight back somersault. Very difficult, 2 feet to 2 feet. And dare I say it, coming into her own on this apparatus. She's been here before, Barry, and the big problem for her of late has been controlling this dismount. It's very important. Double back, and once again problems with it, but not severe damage, I'm sure. What was on the beam was superbly performed. The tiny error at the end, just a 10 for 2.
Slightly different reaction among the Chinese compared with the Americans of a moment ago.
Retains posture and control. Tiny dip of the shoulders. Building up for the dismount. Enormous height. Slightly over-rotates it and needs that hasty adjustment at the very end. Such a pity for her.
And another 9-8, and that moves her from 4th place to 1st. Here now waiting to go on the floor as the halfway point leader, Dominic Dawes, now the sole American hope. Has to wait because the score hasn't come up for the Hungarian. Went before her. It has now. And she's set.
It. Problems with that new tumble in the training, and then through to the competition, half a mark deduction for sitting down. Still performing with aplomb, even though she must know her hopes have gone of the gold medal. Good final tumble.
Huge applause, but she knows better than the majority. Some sitting right up in the gods would not have seen where the feet landed as well. Consolation this time comes from Kelly Hill. Oh dear. After the team triumph, the Americans are having to live with the other side of sport and treat the two imposters just the same.
This the problem tumble, the whip back, the 2.5 twist, well out of alignment, the front somersault, off direction, lost her feet completely.
And think those feet went outside the area in the end.
They did. So not only the deduction for the fall, but also for the out of the area as well. Could be as much as 0.6.
Hear the reaction from the crowd now. They are seeing the mark before we do. Few boos, but the judges are right. 9 only. The American challenge has disappeared. This is Lavinia Milosevic on the beam.
Heavy on the start and need to show absolute control throughout. And so something for the judges to get their teeth into right at the very beginning. She used every centimetre of the length of that beam. Recovered very well from, as I speak, another little wobble, but she has recovered well from a heavy and uncertain start. A long look, lots of power, and an absolutely perfect landing. Making up for the disappointing mount, she does a good dismount. Scores 9.775, keeping her hopes alive.
Gymnasts are warming up for the, or have warmed up.
The time now begins the second half
for
warm-up
the
of
second
our
part
third rotation.
Le carillon
of
désigne
this
le commencement de la
third
deuxième
of
période
4
d'échauffement dans la
rotations.
troisième rotation.
In fact, they are still warming up. And a chance for us, while they do so, to look back at Svetlana Boginskaya's performance on the isometric bars. How did they serve her today?
That beautiful straight body line, and safely through the Kachev that was the problem in the team competition. Hit every handstand exactly. Double straight. What a wonderful landing.
.675. She's enjoying taking part, and she knows that it's not to be a medal for her. This is Rosa Galieva. Look at her vault.
Little skip to adjust the run. And it was worth it. Handspring pike front somersault half turn.
First vault 9.681. I think, in fact, that's the score that she's taken
So successful.
as the average of 2 vaults. We only saw one of them.
Applause for the great job all these people have done.
Anticipation keen at the moment. Mo Huilan of China leads. Romanian second and third, Gina Gojen and
There's now
Lavinia
30 seconds
Milosevic.
remaining in the warm-up.
Galieva of Russia in fourth.
d'échauffement.
Then another Chinese, Xiao Ya, and then down to sixth place is Miller, and Boginskaya has moved up to seventh, but still to go in the second part of this rotation. Korkina, Aminar, Kochitkova and Podkopaeva. Here is Aminar. He'll be the first to go on the floor.
The warm-up period is now complete. The second half of rotation number 3 will now begin.
L'échauffement est terminé. La compétition pour la 3e rotation va continuer.
And like so many of the Romanians, a superb tumbler. Businesslike in her approach, Amina always feels she could perform these routines over and over. 2.5 to punch front. Such control on the triple twist. Into the big final tumble. So strong and easy in all that work.
Well, the Romanians, Christine, came here as the reigning world champions. Were disappointed to be down in the team competition. Only third. Seem to be making up for it here a bit.
Yes, they had lost 2 of their team members, the sort of 4th and 5th, or 5th and 6th probably. Here, where they only have to work 3, they've got 3 very experienced gymnasts to call on.
And they promoted Amina, who had a bit of a nightmare in the first part of the team competition. I can tell you that's an American score, but I won't spoil it for you. But then perhaps I didn't need to tell you that. 3 gymnasts taking part. We've already seen 2 of them in this rotation. Doubtless there will come a moment when we see the 3rd. Amina, as I was saying, promoted after having so many problems in the team competition compulsories. This is the current leader, Mo Huilan.
Amina had problems, of course, in the compulsories. She fell on the beam compulsory, but in fact in the team competition, in the voluntary section, the optionals, she performed very well, and they chose to have her perform again today instead of Marinescu.
Certainly shades of 4 years ago with Gutsu and Galieva. .737. Amina hopeful of emulating the performance of Gutsu, who of course became the Olympic champion. Dina Kochetkova follows Amina onto the floor. Russian following Romanian.
Double straight, clean and effective. Nice forward tumbling as well. tuck to finish. Well, it was clean, crisp and efficient, but for me, uninspiring really. And the dismount, a little weak in that company, I feel, a double tuck. Good technique with the round off and back flip. Strongly into the double straight, slightly loose-legged.
On the beam, the world champion, Ilya Podkopayeva.
Stamps her authority at the beginning of the routine. Just a little tiny off on that series. Excellent link there. Looks very strong and determined. Just has to hold on to this dismount. Twisting double tuck, little scurry backwards, but a commanding performance.
Was in 5th place, but still with a very good chance. 9.787 the score for Kochetkova, who was lying equal second. She's now at this moment equal first with Mo Huilan with that score.
Just stamped onto the beam there, not a hesitation or flicker. But this was where there was a little flicker. She's so well extended, never a bent arm or leg, but just a tiny bit off direction. The difficult dismount, the full twist in the double back, hop backwards.
Blocking out everything that's going on around her. And she's replaced on the beam by Sedipokina. .9787 was Podkopayeva's score.
Aerial cartwheel, 22 somersaults. Lots of the girls favouring the front somersault start. She went through that. Plenty of acrobatics. Again, the front somersault and a little wobble. Careful mixture of acrobatics and gymnastic leaps there. Anxious not to give too much away. Concentration, acceleration, a double tuck back somersault, and that's typical of the error she was making. Just unsure of foot, and few tenths to be given away.
That confirms the score I gave you, and Podkapava is now in 3rd place. Zelipukina started that beam routine rather at the other end of the field.
Tiny little adjustments to the feet throughout the exercise, and she finished in the same way.
You can see the difference in those who somewhat achieve their aim by making the top 36 and those who have medals on their mind. Very, very tight at the top. Joint leaders, the world champion 3rd. 2 Romanians come next.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes competition. In our 3rd rotation, the athletes will now march to their 4th and final event.
La compétition pour la 3e rotation est terminée. Les athlètes vont se diriger vers le 4e
And
et
off
dernier appareil.
for the last piece of apparatus, which will decide where the medals go. So that Burkina looks as though she's finding it fairly hard not to have a little fit of giggles. She must meet up with Gina Gojan sometime, preferably when it's all over. Podkapava just ahead of her. And so the Burkina in 25th place, 9.325.
And on the 4 exercise in our 4th and final rotation tonight is mixed group number 1.
We've seen Kochitkova's challenge. Let's look back and see how Svetlana Korkina's challenge went in that round. Haven't seen her scores yet. She was on the vault.
And the excellent technique we've come to know her for. The round off, half turn so quick, half turn off and piked back somersault. Very long limbed, so she has to work with absolute precision. And she does. Landing a little deep, shoulders well down. 9.725 for the first vault. Needs to do at least as well in the second one. Same approach, same good steady landing. See the very quick turn before the feet have got anywhere near the horse. And 9.687 for the second.
The average score she took forward was 9.706. And that has put her in 7th place.
Ce cheval est originaire de plusieurs siècles. Les soldats romains l'utilisaient comme l'appareil d'entraînement.
Didn't see the vault of young Mocianu. I was wrong there. Said if she scored 9.706. The fact that we didn't see it, I know will disappoint one or two of the younger viewers who've rather taken to her.
C'est intéressant de noter que dans ce temps, le cheval de bois avait aussi une tête et une queue.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's what to look for in the vault. A good vault
Crowd
begins with a strong,
anticipating
fast run.
the last rotation. Mo Huilan and Kochitkova, Dina Kochitkova, equal at the top. 0.031 further behind is Podkapava, who ends on the floor, which is her favorite Gina Gojan, Milosevic and Amanar, the Romanian challenge all together, then two more Russians. Miller now down to 10th place, having been up at the top with Dominic Dawes just behind her at the halfway point. Here's little Mo Huilan. It can all suddenly change in a moment. She too will end on the floor, Mo Huilan. Kochetkova there with Leonid Arkaev. She goes to the vault for her last piece of apparatus, where the two leading Americans will also be appearing, but no longer battling with her for the medals. Podkopaeva, good consistent scoring. Surely it's going to need something in excess of 9-8 to take this title. Any suggestion, Christine, of what might be a winning score here on the last piece of apparatus? I'll lend you 3 calculators if you like.
Well, we saw a 9-9 from Podkopaeva to win the European. She's certainly capable, but the scores haven't been that high this tournament, this Olympics. Maybe they're waiting for this moment.
French team represented here by Elvira Teza, entertaining to watch on the floor. She can set up the pattern of what is to follow, although she herself is not in contention here.
Very useful gymnast, the French. 2.5 twists into punch front to start. Dramatic choice of music. Third major tumble. That's the 2.5 twist. She tumbled and danced through a very lively and well choreographed exercise.
She's one of the 15-year-olds, so maybe you should note the name. Edith, another one who congratulated her there. Ludivine Fernon, 4 years' time.
Lots of power. Very fast in the backflip. 2.5 twists. Punch front somersault. And the French really have made an impression on this Olympic Games. Good technique always. Not the sparkle for a medal yet, but perhaps one day.
Vernon and Teza. And Teza's mark is 9.587. And for just a moment she can enjoy the fact she's ranked #1 in the Olympic Games women's gymnastics. Won't last for too long, because whatever score Lavinia Milosevic gets, she's going to take over in front. Lady who scored perfect 10 on the floor 4 years ago.
Same wonderful tumbling. Tremendous series of tumbles. And difficult jump there. Always a great crowd pleaser. Which of her great repertoire of tumbles will she use here? Full twisting double back. Thoroughly enjoyable, not the sophisticated dance work of some, but always a routine to please.
I have to say, for this commentator's eye, the most pleasing to watch of the Romanians.
Yes, she rises to the occasion. In training, she can sometimes look dull, but when there's a big audience out there and the job needs to be done, she will always have that little extra sparkle.
Was in 5th place. Here's Yvonne Tusek, Canada, on the vault.
Cuervo, it's a half turn from the handspring into a pike back somersault.
You weren't with us earlier on BBC Two. I should perhaps tell you that 15 countries are represented here, and 4 only by one gymnast. 9.812. New leader, Milosevic.
It's a no-nonsense vault, this. Sharp into the half turn, pulls the back somersault over. Nodding. Acknowledgement, no doubt, to a last coaching point from Elvira Sadi, the great Russian gymnast of the 70s. That's her coach now. 9.487. Powerfully into the run. Same vault, this time she brought it under more control. And a flicker of a smile. There's Sadi. Handspring on, half turn, pike back somersaults.
(9.5) for the second, and 9.493. Some of the rankings at the moment confusing, other than the one for Milosevic. And we're now going to find out something of the Romanian order, at least, as Simona Amenar ends on the vault.
And she is a superb vaulter, without any doubt. Such ease, the double twist in the straight, Yushchenko. Very athletic in all her work. The round off, great height, wraps in so tight, and has time to open and control that landing.
Oof, 9.812. Now, if she matches that, or even betters it. Kochikova, non-looker.
And again, she really does look as though she can perform this work all day.
The reason that Kochikova was looking so closely is that she's the next to go. This is shades of Silivash and Shushinova in 88.
Bit more height, I think, that time. Same good control.
It's a reference of Amebus to the Olympic Games when Shushinova won with a better vault score, 9.843, and Aminar has taken over at the head of affairs. Mo Freeland will be the last performer on the floor, and Milosevic knows that once again the gold, well, she would have to share it because they are actually equal, 39.067. Dina Kochikova could change that. So could Gina Gojo.
Chenko with 1.5 twist was a very deep landing.
Figure alongside the name of the gymnast, what's needed for gold, should at this stage really read what's needed to take the lead.
Lacking height somewhat, very deep landing, and not good enough for Dina Kochikova. Certainly plenty to deduct for there. She was out of alignment, deep landing, so 9.6 is a fair reflection of that performance.
Romania very much on the up and looking for refreshment. Current leader, Aminar, with Milosevic.
Same vault and the same landing with an extra pace to boot, so chances gone.
Won't be Russian unless Korkina does something amazing. Very composed, the Russian gymnast, after this failure.
Plenty of problems on that vault.
Galieva as well, she hasn't performed yet, she's on the bars. But the Russian challenge of Dina Kochikova for gold has gone. Currently third, but plenty still to perform. Leonid Arkayev not at the moment having the success with women that he had with his men's team, and runner-up of course in the men's individual championship. Catch up on Dominique Moceanu, youngest of the American team, youngest here on the bars.
Such an explosive start, but little error on that clear circle. Should have hit handstand. Routine of great energy. Speed and height in the dismount. Just tiny faults to stop it being a really big score.
had a 9.6, a 9.687, a 9.706. Bella Caroli. Reason to be pleased with the youngster who came in as a substitute for the injured Kerry Struck.
This exciting mount, clear circle, pulls hard and flies to the top bar, then flies back to the low bar, but this next circle was short of handstand. Because she's so little, she has to fly such a long way. Very nice dismount. Full twist in the straight, pikes down for landing.
Now she has a gold medal before her 15th birthday in the team competition, 9.762.
The second warm-up,
we are now
rotation number 4,
at the halfway point of this final rotation. Warm-up time for several contenders. Gojaan, Korkina, Mo Huilan and Podkapaeva, the last two probably with the greatest hopes. Was in equal first place, and Podkapaeva was in third place at the end of the third rotation.
Ladies and gentlemen, a reminder that our gymnastics competition will continue with the men's and women's event finals on Sunday, July the 28th and Monday, July the 29th. These sessions will feature the top 8 male
Our routine
and female
in practice
gymnasts
has not
on each
been
event.
quite
Schedule
what we
start
saw
time
in Birmingham.
is set for 9:30 p.m. and on Monday, 8:30 p.m.
Mesdames et messieurs, la compétition va continuer avec les
Mo
finales
Huilan with the very last
le dimanche 28
to
juillet
perform.
à 9h30 et le lundi 29 juillet à 8h30. Cette session présentera les 8 meilleurs gymnastes sur chaque appareil.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, a reminder to stay with us following tonight's competition for the victory ceremony.
39.067 is the target to beat, currently held by Amanar and Milosevic. Podkapaeva, whose routine is choreographed by one of the leading ballerinas of the Donetsk Ballet. Here's Gina Gojaan. She's on the vault, the penultimate vaulter. Three chances for Romania.
We're down to 30 seconds remaining in this warm-up.
One for China. One for Ukraine. Nothing more she can do. She's got a share of it, but it can be taken away. Lenses at the moment pointing elsewhere. The focus of attention now is on the world champion, the European champion, Lilia Podkapaeva. She will perform to a mixture of the Marriage of Figaro and Rossini's Barber of Seville. Mozart, Rossini looking for gold.
Superb opening tumble. achieving a delightful mix of dance and immensely powerful tumbling. Final big tumble. Oh, twisting double tap. Captivating performance. She's achieved that elusive balance between choreography and powerful tumbling. A gymnast of very classic pedigree.
Did you watch Mo Whelan? Well, certainly Svetlana Dubova of the Donetsk Ballet would be very pleased with how that routine was performed on the balletic side.
And as with any acrobatics coach in the world, be impressed with a light touch but power. Look at this, a double front somersault, half turn. Any trampolinist would be proud of that.
Emotional sport, as we've seen, a demanding sport, sport that requires bravery. That's Lavinia Milosevic coming across. It's also a very sporting sport. The reaction of fellow gymnasts. Is it good enough? She prays it is. Milosevic, I think, told her that it was. And it is. But still, there's Mo Whelan to come, 9.887. She's in the gold medal position. Mo Whelan could change all that. No world champion since Ludmila Teresheva has gone on to take the Olympic title. Here's Kokina now on the asymmetric bars.
And her original start. Beautiful long swing. And the hecht with half turn. Just mistimed it. Let go at the wrong point in the circle, and her body flew up rather than forwards. She needed to cover the distance from low bar to high, and she just didn't give herself a chance.
And another challenge is ended.
Back on to continue. Wonderful dismount, but all to no avail.
9.262. Now Gina Gaudin on the vault. She's another one who could prize the prize away.
1.5 twist, not like that she won't. Big pace forward. Round off onto the board. Yurchenko from the horse. And the big pace.
It's nice to see Emma now smiling. She's got a good score. 7.75. The Romanian started this whole competition complaining about scores on the vault and the team competition.
More like it. Just a tiny adjustment at the end. She obviously listened to the advice from her coach and pulled out a much better effort.
How will the pecking order end for the Romanians?
Pops up off the top of the horse. Good height, good flight. Tiny adjustment though.
9.775. She's moved into second place behind Podkapayeva. One more challenge left. Oh, Shannon Miller must wish it was coming from her silver medalist last time. Failure on the floor, ending her chance this time.
It's all so finely in the balance, isn't it? One big step on landing, 1 foot out the floor area. Because such control on the vault. The precision we come to know from her, the straight body shape, the half turn and landing.
And a few tears to follow. I don't know whether she jarred herself a little bit or it's just tears of emotion. 9.687 is her score.
Compose herself and vault well again. And she does so even better.
Well, you have to hand it to her. That's her last vault in an all-around championship in an Olympic Games, and it was a superb vault. Not the finish she wanted, but a finish with guts and style and character. Dominic Dawes, who understands her feelings because she had exactly the same problem, is the first gymnast to go to talk to her. And Mo Huilan waits. Not for much longer. The score has come up for the previous gymnast, 9.856. Is what she needs now to score on the floor to take the gold away from Podkapayeva.
So the start, double straight.
Title is Podkapayeva's.
Interesting double pike. Such a pity, she had enormous height, but look at the celebration bow.
And that's Yelena Piskun with the new Olympic champion. We saw a picture not dissimilar to this at Birmingham in the 1993 World Championships when Podkapayeva had lost her chance. Now the tears are tears of victory, not of defeat. Pity for the Chinese that she should make an error and not make the judges sweat a little bit on the final marks. But even so, We've seen this young lady win the world title, saw her in Birmingham win the European title, and now, after the failure of the Chinese, Podkapayeva is the Olympic champion. Smiling Svetlana Boginskaya goes to say a few words, but how sad the ending for Mo Huilan.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the women's all-around competition. This time the athletes
tumbled
will
so well
to prepare for the victory ceremony.
Enormous height from this 2.5 twist, too much height into the front somersault, and there was the problem.
Still haven't got her score. Whether that step out of the area has taken her off the rostrum as well. Two Romanians sweating on that score as well. In third place, Amanar and Milosevic. .9.65. She is in 5th place. It's a cruel sport, gymnastics. So many came with hopes. So many little errors were decisive, and in the end there are going to be 4 gymnasts who will be on the rostrum to receive medals. But here is the champion from Donetsk in the Ukraine, same country as Lyudmila Teresheva, who is the person responsible for gymnastics in Ukraine. And the jinx has been broken. Many a world champion has come to the Olympics and not managed to make her claim for that
And
title.
once again, a reminder that our gymnastics
Lilia
competition continues on
has
Sunday, July the 28th, with the men's and women's event finals competition beginning at 9:30 p.m. This session features the top 8 male and female gymnasts in the
confirmation
world on each
of
event.
the final order. Podkapayeva, the Olympic champion. Gina Gojin, former European champion, is the silver medalist. And the bronze medal shared Amanar and Milosevic. In Milosevic's case, her 2nd Olympic bronze. Mo Huilan 5th, Kochikova 6th, Galieva 7th. Shannon Miller leading the American challenge in 8th place, with little Dominic Motianu in 9th.
Well, you wonder how they can ever improve on that kind of standard, but I expect at the next Olympic Games in 4 years' time they will have done so. Now we've got swimming finals coming up for you again.
Welcome back as 4 gymnasts who have had and given to us one of the most scintillating all-around contests we have seen for a long time now take their medals. The medals will be presented by His Excellency Juan Antonio Samaranch, my apologies. Nadia Comaneci there is with him as well, and also the president of the FIG, Yuri Titov. This is something very special indeed. Of course, Nadia Comaneci has been there herself, claiming the gold medal. But now it is the turn of Lilia Podkapayeva. There, President Clinton, Hillary Clinton and Chelsea Clinton, who have been as thrilled as we all have throughout this evening's competition. It really has been another gripping Olympic decision. And we were talking earlier, perhaps it would be more fitting if he was down there presenting the medals, but now it's not an American victory. It's nicer to see His Excellency Juan Antonio Samaranch, President of the IOC, with 2 of the great names from the sport of gymnastics, Nadia Comaneci and also Yuri Titov. It's all smiles and jubilation. Lilia Podkapayeva claims gold for the Ukraine. A textbook performance, brilliant from start to finish, not only demonstrating gymnastic skills beyond our wildest dreams, but also showing the coolest head we've ever seen from this 17-year-old Ukrainian.
Yes, and very, very much the people's champion, because everybody, the press, the gymnasts, the coaches, all hoped for Lilia Podkapayeva. And so wonderful to see the Romanians have their day, because They couldn't manage to get 7 gymnasts together for the team championship, and here we have Gojin, Amanar and Milosevic, 3 of the greatest of the world's gymnasts up on the podium in the all-around event, so that really is wonderful.
Good to see Gina Gojin up there and finally let her emotions go. There's so many stories to tell about this young woman behind the scenes of gymnastics, and as Monica touched on earlier in this broadcast, she really is the shining light within the Romanian team. She helps them keep on the rails. She's always got time to talk to them about their problems, and I'm sure she's delighted to receive her silver medal from Nadia Comaneci, who won her gold 10 years ago today.
Yes, 1976, it doesn't seem possible. And here's Simone Amanar, who is such a brilliant gymnast, quiet and just gets on with her work. And Milosevic, oh, she'll be so thrilled, because she really has lost it as regards being at the top of the ladder, but she's been a fantastic ambassador.
And for me, Monica, a clear sign of how the sport is changing. She won her first world vault title back in 1991. 5 years on, and she's still picking up medals. This evening, a bronze. The competition for these stars is by no means over, with the individual apparatus coming on Sunday and Monday evening. And Milosevic is perhaps the top of Romanian gymnastics for the past 7-8 years. Amanar is the future. A very special bronze medal presentation.
Oh, it is, and Amanar not used to the public eye, you know, she likes to hide behind the others, but Milo loves it. She likes to be up on the podium giving it the wave. It's great, all the different characters within the sport. Milosevic, an extrovert, Simone a bit of an introvert, Gojin quiet too, and Podkopayeva very, very steely and determined, and that's why she's there.
Well, this moment now is Lilia Podkopayeva's, because the gymnasts will turn, the flags will be raised, and the 95 world champion has now become the 96 Olympic champion, and has every right to shed a little tear or two as the Ukrainian national anthem is played in celebration of a marvellous gold medal. Bubka, maybe their biggest track and field star, but this lady will now become one of the most well-known Ukrainians that they have ever known, and lovely to see President Clinton and his family enjoying the action here. Many of the American fans were leaving the stadium the minute that the US did not claim gold medal position from rotation 2 onwards. It's literally down to about 30,000, but those who have enjoyed the spectacle this evening, including President Clinton, have been entertained from start to finish.
And it really was a magnificent competition. By no means an anticlimax to the team event, just a very, very different event. And the sportsmanship within the arena is really wonderful. Milosevic, the first person to rush over and congratulate somebody from another nation who's won the Olympic gold.
Well, there's the first 4 medals decided in the gymnastics. We've got another 10 to come, because on Sunday evening and on Monday evening, live and exclusive once again here on Eurosport, we have the individual apparatus finals. Monica, your thoughts quickly looking ahead to those individual apparatus.
Well, I just hope the Americans can get it together and get some deserved individual medals, and I think that Huang from China must go away with a couple of medals from that. But we look forward to something just as great as we've had over the last couple of days.
Make a note in your diary. It's 3:30 Central European time on the 28th. That's this coming Sunday, and on Monday. It's a little late. It's worth staying up for. If not, be sure to set your videos. From Nick Fellows and Monica Phelps in the Georgia Dome, bye-bye for now.